Hi, thank you for joining this training on the D2X iBox firmware. Basically, in order to understand what firmware is, it's a set of applications that form our operating system, which is loaded on the D2X devices. By D2X devices, I mean the D20ME, the D20 M++, M+, and the D20M. I also mean the D25 device and our iBox device. They all follow the same operating system architecture. So from an architecture point of view, I'm going to go slowly through this architecture diagram. At the heart of the system, we've got the WSDAC interface node, or WIN, which is application B008. So the application WSDAC interface node, or application B008, is responsible for concentrating all the points that come from a data collection application, or a DCA, a data collection application, DCA. So these DCAs are applications that would communicate with field devices. For example, if we've got a Modbus DCA, it's communicating to a field Modbus device. Or if we've got a DMP DCA, it will communicate to a DMP device and collect all the information concentrated back into the WIN database. And then any of our data processing applications, or DPA, would take this information and provide it to any master. For example, an IEC 6870-5-101 would communicate the information to an IEC 101 master, or an IEC 104 DPA would communicate to an IEC 104 master. So that's one strong feature, where we can go from one protocol to another protocol in our architectures. For a local support, we've got the westmain access, which will allow the user to access through any VT100 terminal compliant application into the westmain in order to carry out whatever menu supported actions that are available in our westmain application. The westmain application number is B014. And that's the application responsible for servicing the westmain port, which is normally COM0, but you can set it to any of the COM ports that are available through configuration. We have a local application that's normally responsible for the processing of information coming from the local I/O cards. The local I/O cards can be either distributed I/O cards that are communicating to the main CPU, like in the case of the D20, it's application B003, or an application like in the D25, which is talking to the local I/O cards on the D25 that are inside the box of the D25, and that's the plant I/O, or P097. Okay, so that's the overall architecture. Got a local concentrating point, a data collection application family, a data processing application family, a westmain application, and a local I/O processing application. Okay, so the firmware is a set of applications that is basically listed in our module.mac file. And then this set of applications would be used in order to be compiled to form a bin file. That bin file, we would sometimes use a special compiler to change it to an SHX file or an SRecord file. That's a Motorola SRecord file. This file, we use the VT100 terminal, like I said, to connect through the westmain port and download this SRecord file. The SRecord file is basically just a binary display in textual format of the module.mac file. So for example, for a D25, I've got this sal999.0 folder. In this folder, I find the module.mac file, and I find the .shx file, and I define the prom.bin file. Okay, the module.mac file, once we open it, you can open it with any application, for example, Notepad. When it will show us the operating system that we're using, the D25 operating system. It will show us the P097 that is responsible for the I/O communication, and a list of applications that have been installed. So in this case, we've got the IEC 6870-5 application is part of this firmware. So in this firmware, we can see that there is the applications that are responsible for the operating system, and we can also see applications that are part of the DPA and the DCA. Who decides what application go in this firmware is normally a system architect who has evaluated what devices are available to be communicated with from the D2X device or the iBox, and have decided that these are the required applications to be integrated for a customer. So every customer gets a unique SAL or SAB number for our devices, and this SAL, SAB number is used to identify what operating system the customer is going to install into the D2X device and what applications will be available for use. These applications can be enabled or disabled through configuration. To summarize, there is a module.mac file, which is this file. That's just a textual readable file so that we understand what's available in our SAL or SAB number. There is a down.shx file, and there is a prom.bin file. We are going to use the down.shx file to download to our device if our device requires an upgrade, which means it has to go to a newer SAL or a newer SAB, and or it is a fresh new device that doesn't have any firmware in it, and we need to download the firmware to it. So think of the firmware, if somebody wants an analogy, still did not grasp the idea of a firmware, think of the firmware as the operating system that you put on your laptops or your desktops. When you get your desktop, it comes with Windows operating system and maybe Microsoft Office on it. Well, that's the same thing. This is where you put the operating system and the applications on your device. So we're going to put the Windows and Microsoft Office. But in this case, let's say it's a D25, we're going to put the D25 operating system and like calculator or any of the applications that is supposed to be installed on the D2X device. Okay. You heard me talking about SAL. So the file that we were taking a look at is sal999.00 SAL. Whenever you see SAL, that means that this file is targeted for a D25 operating system, a D25 device. So it's as an SAL is a D25 device, and SAC starting acronym would be for an iBox, and SAB would be for a D20. And basically, historically, SA stands for system architecture, where the system engineers used to build these, and we just gave the next available letter based on the device that was designed for our customers. So again, SAB is a D20, SAL is a D25, SAC is an iBox. Okay, and what you can see here is the D20 have two operating systems. There is an older operating system that we call the D20 operating system. There is a newer operating system that we call the CCU operating system, which is P038. For our D25, there is only one operating system, which is the P114. So when I open this this module.mac, I will find that the operating system is P114-0 version 410. If we have shipped you an RTU, that RTU came probably with a CD, and that CD would have this module.mac. You would have to find what SAB, SAL number belong to you. Now, if you don't have that information, just contact our customer service technical support, and they will get it for you based on your customer. So every customer have a unique set of SABs and SALs based on their station setup. Okay, like I said, the SAB, SAL, or SAC, so SAC is for an iBox, SAL for a D25, SAB is for a D20. There will be a file named down.shx file, and this is the key file that we will download to the operating device. Okay, at the top of the module Mac, the readable module Mac file, module.mac file that's available in the directory of the SAB, the SAL, or the SAC, you will find the information about it, what operating system it is, what boot ROM works with it, what boot ROM should be installed inside the device. So hopefully when you order this, you would give that number to our device manufacturer, and he would have the right boot ROM in there based on the SAB or SAL, SAC number. Okay, and then, like I said, the firmware would consist of two major things. Number one is the applications that make up our operating system, and then the applications that has been targeted to serve our customer need, specifically for that SAL, SAB, SAC number. Hopefully you understand what the firmware piece is, and you understand why we have a module.mac file and a down.shx. Module.mac file is for us, the humans, in order to read the content of what have been downloaded to the device. The down.shx file is targeted for the VT100 terminal, so that we can download it into the device. Next, I'll take you through a quick demonstration of how to download the down.shx file into the device. Okay, so I'm going to show you basically how to download this down.shx file into the device, which is available in your SAL or SAB or SAC as have been discussed. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to turn on our device. When the device starts up, it goes through its internal checking of memory and status. If it doesn't have anything on it or anything installed inside it, then once we log in, it will start a self check process, and will tell us that there is no firmware installed in it. If there is a firmware installed and you're upgrading, what you want to do is you want to go through the menus, reach to your 68K monitor prompt, and issue an RTB command, or return to boot command. So in this case, it has shown that there is nothing installed because the login showed up at the upper left hand corner. If it shows up in the middle, it means there is a firmware, and if you want to upgrade that firmware, you would have to log in, go to the 68K monitor, issue an RTB, or return to boot command, and that will get you to this status. Okay, as I mentioned, the D25 is starting up, is checking the flash, and is confirming that the flash is empty. There is no information in this flash. If I type the command img, it tells me that it has P155-0 boot ROM. There is no image, or the flash is invalid. Okay, so the steps for downloading an image. First thing, you can put it on a higher baud rate if you want the download to go faster. So I would go baud. And then I would change my interface baud rate to a higher baud rate. So I'm back at the D25S, which is a service point. You cannot download to the A. Like if it's in active, it means you're not in a service mode and it will not allow you to download your configuration, your firmware, sorry. So we have, it's erased, there is nothing on it. If there is information on it, you can just go ahead and type erase, and that would erase it, or will tell you that it's already erased, there is no need to erase it. And with your SAL number, SAL directory, you want to download the down.hsx file. So we issue the DL for download, and then we go file, send file. Depending on the VT100 terminal, you want to send a textual file, and we will select the C drive and open the SAL 999 directory, select the down.shx file, click open, and the download would start. Okay, we just have to wait until the download have concluded. I'll be back after that. So that download is still going on. There is no messages in the background, which mean that it's still successfully downloading. We're about a quarter of the way there. We'll be back in around half the way there to give you an update on it. Okay, so the download is still continuing. We don't see any messages in the background, which means that it's still a successful download. We're just about the 50% mark for the download. We'll be back at the 75% mark to give you an update on the download success. Okay, as you can see, the download is still in successful mode. There is no gibberish or messages showing up in the background, and we have crossed the 75%. We'll be back when it's full download. Okay, so the download of the configuration is almost done. As we can see, we're 99%, and it's close to 100% download. Once the download is done, we will get the D25 prompt back. If you don't get it, you have to press enter to see the D25 prompt. Now remember that we're communicating at 19,200 baud rate. So here, the download is done. We have the prompt back. We have to issue the command errorlog el space /r, which stands for remove the error log. You press enter, you get the prompt back. If you give the command again, it will tell you that there is no errors in the error log, which means that's what you did. You basically, because we failed the D25 in order to download the firmware, the D25 will keep in its memory that it was failed, so it will stay in failure mode unless we erase the error log. So once you remove the error log, we can reboot the D25 by issuing the boot command. All right, and just to remind you of all the steps that we have taken so far, so you would log in with Westronic RD if that's the name and password. If the flash is not empty, you would issue the erase command, and then you would change the baud rate to 19,200, erase command, and then you issue the DL command. Once you issue the DL command, we go file, send file, and you select your down.shx file, which is part of your SAL 999 or SAB number. Once the download is done, you issue the EL /R, and then you issue the boot command, and that would reboot your D25. Now when it reboots in the 9600 baud rate, so you would have to go back quickly to setup, click serial port, set it back to 9600 baud rate, click OK, and now we can see the normal boot process taking place. As such, Our D25 will go through a normal booting. It will go through a check of its information. Here is where it's checking the flash code. And as you can see, the header information of the configuration is a pass. And our D25 has booted normally. Hopefully you have a good understanding of how to download a firmware into any device, any D2X device or iBox device, whether it is the D25, the D20ME, an iBox, a D20M++, or a D20M device. Thank you.